What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're trying to play Madden NFL 26 on a low-end PC without your game turning into a slideshow, this video is for you. Today I'm going to show you the best settings for Madden 26 to get smooth gameplay, stable frame rates, less stuttering, and the closest thing possible to a locked 60 FPS even on older hardware. And when I say low end, I mean GTX 1050 Ti, GTX 1650, RX 570, integrated graphics, laptops, budget gaming PCs, even systems that barely meet minimum requirements. We're covering in-game settings, NVIDIA control panel tweaks, Windows optimizations, stutter fixes, shader cache tricks, controller delay fixes, and the one setting most people completely miss that tanks performance. So don't skip around because the final setup is what makes the biggest difference. Let's get into it. Why Madden 26 runs bad on PC? So first things first, Madden 26 on PC is honestly weirdly optimized right now. Even people with powerful GPUs are reporting micro stutters, random FPS drops, menu lag, frame pacing issues, and inconsistent performance online. Meanwhile, some players on budget PCs are getting smoother gameplay just by changing a few settings. That means this game is less about raw power and more about optimization. The good news, Madden 26 is actually not a super demanding game overall. The minimum specs are pretty reasonable compared to most modern AAA games. So with the right setup, 60 FPS is absolutely possible. Best display settings. Alright, launch the game, go straight into video settings. These are the most important settings. Windows mode, set it to borderless window, not full screen. I know full screen usually gives better performance in other games, but in Madden 26, borderless actually fixes stuttering for a ton of players. Multiple users reported huge FPS improvements after switching from full screen. This is probably the single biggest fix in the entire video. Resolution. Now, if your PC is struggling, use 1600 by 900 or 1280 by 720, especially on integrated graphics. Listen, a stable 60 FPS at 900p feels way better than an unstable 40 FPS at 1080p. And honestly, during gameplay, you barely notice the resolution drop. Frame rate limits. Set this to 60 FPS. Do not use unlimited FPS. Seriously, unlimited frame rate causes unstable frame pacing, overheating, CPU spikes, and weird gameplay hitching. Some optimization guides even specifically recommend capping the game instead of uncapping it. 60 FPS gives smoother gameplay overall. VSync. Now this depends. If you get screen tearing, weird flickering, unstable frame times, turn VSync on. If you have G-Sync, FreeSync, or a higher refresh monitor, you can try turning it off for lower input delay. But for most low-end PCs, VSync on usually feels smoother. If this video gave your PC a second life, subscribe. I make optimization guides for people who want smooth gameplay without spending $2,000 on a new setup. And comment your specs below. I'll help you squeeze every possible FPS out of your system. Best graphics settings. Now this is where the real FPS gain happens. We're basically removing all the expensive visual effects that don't matter during gameplay. Let's go one by one. Shadow quality, set this to low. Shadows are brutal on low-end GPUs. Some testing showed double-digit FPS improvements just from lowering shadows, and during gameplay you barely notice the difference. Crowd quality, low. Crowds destroy GPU performance, especially in sports games where thousands of animated NPCs are rendered at once. This setting can massively reduce stutter. VFX quality, set this to low. Rain effects, smoke, particles, sideline effects, all of this eats performance. And weather games become way smoother with this lowered. Mesh quality, medium or low. This controls model complexity. On older GPUs, low is safest. A GTX 1650 level cards, medium should be fine. Ambient occlusion, off or low. Ambient occlusion adds fake shadowing around objects, looks nice, kills FPS. Turn it off, huge gain. Texture quality, now this one depends on VRAM. If your GPU has 2GB VRAM or 4GB VRAM, use low or medium textures. If textures are too high, you'll get stutters, texture pop-in, VRAM overflow, freezing during cutscenes. 3D grass, off, looks cool, destroys FPS, easy decision. Advanced hair, off. Nobody's zooming in on players' hair during a touchdown pass. Turn it off. Motion blur, off, always. Motion blur makes the image look muddy and adds unnecessary processing. Bloom, off. Lens flare, off. This cinematic effects are useless for competitive gameplay and waste GPU power. Best low-end God mode settings. Alright, if your PC is really struggling, here's the ultra performance setup. Copy this exactly. Borderless window, 1280 by 720, 60 FPS cap, VSync on, shadows low, crowd low, VFX low, ambient occlusion off, motion blur off, grass off, hair off, textures to low. This setup should run on almost anything close to minimum specs, and according to official requirements, even older cars like the GTX 1050 Ti and RX 570 can run the game. So if you still can't hit 60 after this, the issue is probably outside the game itself. Which brings us to Windows optimization. Windows optimization. This section matters way more than people think, especially for laptops and older CPUs. Enable game mode. Go to Windows settings, gaming, game mode, turn it on. This helps prioritize the game over background tasks. Power plan. Search power plan, set your PC to high performance, not balance. Balance mode can downclock your CPU while gaming. That causes stutter instantly. Disable background apps. Before launching Madden, close Discord overlays, Chrome tabs, RGB software, MSI Afterburner overlays, recording apps. Some players even reported overlays causing crashing and freezing. Keep your system clean. Update GPU drivers, very important. A lot of Madden problems are driver related. If you haven't updated drivers in months, do it now. And if the newest drivers cause issues, try rolling back one version. Sports games can be weird with drivers. NVIDIA control panel setting. For NVIDIA use, right click desktop, NVIDIA control panel, go to manage 3D settings. Here's what you want. Power management mode. Set it to prefer maximum performance, low latency mode, set it to on, texture filtering, quality, high performance, vertical sync, use 3D application settings, shader cache, turn this on, this helps reduce stutters after the first few games. Max frame rate set to 60 if you want extra stability. Fixing stuttering and input delay. Now let's fix the annoying stuff. First match stutter. This happens because shaders are compiling. Your first game may stutter no matter what. Play one full match first before judging performance. Controller delay. If your controls feel delayed, use wired control mode. Disable Steam input if needed. Keep FPS locked at 60. High stable FPS can actually increase input inconsistency. Online lag versus FPS lag. A lot of players confuse these. If animations skip, menus freeze, FPS drops offline, that's performance lag. If players teleport, button presses delay online only, that's connection lag, different problem. No settings recap. Alright, let's recap the best overall settings for low-end PCs. Borderless windows, 60 FPS cap, VSync on, shadows low, crowd low, VFX low, motion blur off, grass off, hair off, ambient occlusion off, bloom off, lens flare off. Then high performance power plan, game mode on, overlays off, latest drivers, shader cache enable. Do all of that and Madden 26 should feel way smoother. So yeah, Madden 26 on PC definitely needs better optimization, but with the right settings you can absolutely get smooth gameplay even on weaker hardware. If this guide helped you out, drop a like, subscribe, and comment your PC specs and FPS below. I'm curious what setup are actually working best right now, and if you want, I can also make videos on best competitive settings, input delay fixes, best controller settings and video optimization packs, or best Madden 26 mods for PC. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright guys, have a great day.